Viktor Postol knocks out Lucas Matthysse in the 10th round. That's right. That's not a mistake. You heard me correctly. Viktor Postol knocks out Lucas Matthysse in the 10th round. Let's talk about it. Postol from the opening bell, and he is Ukrainian. He was fighting pretty much a carbon copy of a typical Vladimir Klitschko fight. He wasn't running. He was standing his ground and using his very big height advantage over Lucas Matthysse. And he was keeping Matthysse at bay, boxing him, not letting Matthysse get too close. And whenever Matthysse did get close, rather than backing away, he was grabbing Matthysse and doing all the Vladimir Klitschko style holding, leaning down, not quite as excessively as Vladimir does it, but that's what he was doing. And it was working very effectively for Viktor Postol through the first 4 or 5 rounds. Then I think in the 5th or 6th, if I remember correctly, the referee, Jack Reese, warned Postol for holding. He said, stop holding, stop pushing his head down. And as soon as he did that, Lucas Matthysse instantaneously started having lots more success because Postol was having to move a lot more. He wasn't able to tie up Matthysse as frequently on the inside. So he was having to go to plan B. And he started moving around. Matthysse started landing decent shots. But gradually over the next few rounds, Postol started adjusting to having to use the extra movement. And Lucas Matthysse was very frustrated. He was frustrated through the first 5 rounds with the holding. But even without the holding, when Postol started getting on his bike and understanding Mathisse's patterns and where Matthysse was going to attack from, he started reading Mathisse's movement. And all of a sudden, it started becoming frustrating all over again for Matthysse. The couple of decent rounds that he had subsided and faded away, and Postol started taking control again. And it was after one of the rounds, I think it was the 8th or 9th maybe, when Matthysse went to his corner. Apparently, I mean, I don't speak Spanish or understand Spanish, but according to the one of the commentators who does speak Spanish, I'm assuming, they said that Matthisse's corner said to him, "What's wrong with you? What's wrong?" Because all the fire and all the desire seemed to have just disappeared from Lucas Matthysse. He did not seem to be fired up to win the fight anymore. So I hope Lucas Matthysse is okay, because occasionally that can happen if a fighter has some type of brain injury, and I seriously hope he's okay. He didn't take that many punches throughout the fight. Postol was landing shots here and there, which were catching Lucas Matthysse, but nothing really that devastating. But Matthysse just seemed to lose heart. Then in the 10th round, Matthysse walked into a right hand from Viktor Postol. Postol had been starting to get a bit more aggressive in the penultimate round before the 10th. And he was actually backing up, and he walked Matthysse onto a straight right hand, and Matthysse went down to one knee. And he went down to both knees or one knee, but he went down on his knee either way. And he basically sitted out the count. He basically quit. He didn't get up, and people were very surprised, because it's not like he was knocked flat on his back and unable to get up the way Selçuk Aydin was against Postol. It wasn't like that. This is a situation where it looked as though Matthysse could have got up, but he decided to sit out the count. So again, I have to reiterate, I hope there's nothing wrong with the guy, because we know Matthysse previously anyway, he's shown a lot of heart in fights. But here, sitting out the count like that, I'm telling you, man, I hope there's nothing wrong with the guy. And if there isn't anything wrong with him in terms of, brain injury or anything like that, then questions have to be asked about what the hell happened. Why did he just capitulate so easily? Where was the fighting spirit that we've seen in so many other Lucas Matthysse fights? Very strange ending to the fight. Drop your comments in the comment section below. Maybe you saw something which I didn't see. Was it a headbutt? Because there was a few headbutts. Maybe one of the headbutts made Matthysse dizzy. Maybe he was getting blurred vision. Maybe there was a thumb in the eye. God knows what. But the point is, why did he mentally seem to cave in even before that right-handed landed? And that's what most people were asking after the fight. So drop your comments below, people. Let me know how you felt about this performance from Viktor Postol. And congratulations, by the way, to Viktor Postol. It was obviously a good win. His coming out party, his breakout performance, he gets that big name in his record. And we'll see where he goes from here. And obviously, Viktor Postol is now the WBC. I believe this was for the vacant WBC junior welterweight title, because Danny Garcia has now moved up. So yeah, let me know what you think of Viktor Postol's performance, what you made of Matthyse's performance in the finish, and where you see both fighters going from here. Matthysse was obviously coming off a very good win against Ruslan Provodnikov. Obviously a totally different style, a different set of, a totally different equation to have to solve. And he found dealing with Provodnikov a lot easier than dealing with someone as tall and rangy and awkward and technically very, very good as Viktor Postol. He found it much more difficult to deal with him. So how do you see Viktor Postol faring against some of the other guys at 140 pounds? You got Adrian Broner out there. You got obviously, well, you do have Provodnikov. You've got, who else is out there now? Crawford's there. There's a whole heap of other guys at 140. Let me know how you feel Viktor Postol would fare against those guys, and where does Matthysse go from here? All right. Drop your comments below. What's happening? I'm out.